I'm going to be talking about the seal of God. The seal of God is his holy Sabbath day. Exodus 20, verse 11. Exodus 20, 8 through 11. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and he rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. The seal of God is his 10 commandments. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 16. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. A seal is someone's name, title, and territory. The seal of God. The name is the Lord your God. The title is Creator, and the territory is heaven and earth. The Sabbath is a sign between us and God. Ezekiel 20:20. And hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God. Sign also means seal, so it's a seal between us and the Lord. The Sabbath is a sign and seal between us and the Lord. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says, "Let us hear the consolation of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." Our duty is to keep God's commandments. Jesus writes his law in our minds and hearts. Hebrews 10:6 Hebrews 10:16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. Jesus writes his laws in our minds and hearts. Genesis 2, verse 2 through 3 says, And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. That means, if you read the Bible and count it, it says 7, 7, 7. It says 777 is God's number. 7 is God's number. And the seal of God is his Sabbath. Because in a seal you have the name, the title, and the territory. And it talks about in the commandment in Exodus 20, it says, in Exodus 20, verse 8 through 11 says, Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shall thy labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and he rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So in verse 11 it says, it talks about the name of the Lord. The seal of God is the seal of God is in his fourth commandment. It says, For in 6 days the Lord, that's his name, made, that's his territory, creator. Territory is his creator. That's what, no, territory, no. That means, for in 6 days the Lord made, for in 6 days the Lord, that's his name. Title is creator, so made is creator, and territory is heaven and earth. So what that means is, in 6 days, for in 6 days the Lord, that's his name, made, title, creator, territory is heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and he rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So that means the Sabbath is the seal of God. We will keep the Sabbath in heaven. The Sabbath is eternal. The Sabbath goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden, when the Lord created everything. When he made the earth, he rested the seventh day, and he would, and on the seventh day he would have, like, he would go visit Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and they would, like, rest from all their work. Adam and Eve would rest, and they would worship the Lord, and he would have, like, a special day between them, Adam and Eve. So the Sabbath is a special day between us and the Lord. It will always be a special day. We'll keep the Sabbath in heaven. The Sabbath will be kept for eternal. And the seventh day is the Sabbath. That's Saturday. Saturday is the Sabbath. Saturday is the holy day of the Lord. Saturday is the Lord's day. Sunday's the first day. Monday's the second day. Tuesday's the third day. Wednesday's the fourth day. Thursday's the fifth day. Friday's the sixth day. And Saturday's the seventh day. So the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord, which is Saturday, not Sunday. And the Sabbath will always be kept in heaven. The Sabbath is the only holy day of the week. Every other day is a regular day except for Saturday. Saturday is the seventh day. The seventh day is the special day between us and the Lord. Every other day is a working day, a regular day. But the Lord set the Sabbath apart. He set it from all different days. He blessed it and made it holy. That's the only day the Lord blessed and made holy. Every other day is just a regular day. But the seventh day is a special day between us and the Lord. And there will always be a special day between us and Him. The Sabbath is the special day between us and the Lord. It's a day of rest, and it's a day to worship the Lord and take a break from all the work and just rest and worship the Lord. The Sabbath will be kept forever and ever. And that's the seal of God. The Sabbath is the seal of God. We will keep the Sabbath forever. The seal of God means name, title, territory. The name is the Lord God. The title is Creator. The territories, heaven and earth. And that is in the fourth commandment. That's the fourth commandment. It talks about that. So the fourth commandment is the seal of God. The fourth commandment is the only commandment that has the word remember in it. That's the only commandment that has the word remember, because the Lord knew people was going to forget His day. That's why He said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thy labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and He rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. The Sabbath is a very important day. And the fourth commandment is the only commandment that has the word remember in it. And it's the only commandment that has the word holy in it. Because the Sabbath is the special day. And the seventh day is the only holy day. The seventh day is the only holy day. No other day is holy. Only Saturday is holy. Only the seventh day is holy. And we will keep the Sabbath forever in heaven. The Sabbath is a sign between us and the Lord. And that means seal. It's a seal between us and the Lord. He seals the Sabbath. He made it a special day, and He set it apart from all other days. Every other day is a regular day, but the seventh day is a Sabbath, and it will always be the Sabbath. Saturday will always be the Sabbath. The seventh day will always be the Sabbath. John 14:15, Jesus says, if you love me, keep my commandments. We keep God's commandments because we love Him. The commandments don't save us. Keeping the Sabbath doesn't save us. Only Jesus can save us. But we keep the Sabbath because we love the Lord and we want to obey Him. Obeying the Lord is showing Him that you love Him. That's how you show that you love the Lord, when you obey Him. Because if He says, if you love me, keep my commandments. And that's how we show that we love Him, when we keep His commandments. Jesus wants us to remember His special day. He wants us to remember His Sabbath because it's the only day that's holy and it's the only day that's special. Every other day is a regular day, but the seventh day, Saturday, is a special day between us and the Lord, and it will always be a special day between us and Him. Even when we're in heaven, we will still keep the Sabbath day. There's no other day like the seventh day. The seventh day is set apart and it's sanctified, which means sanctified means set apart. And it's blessed. The seventh day is sanctified and it's blessed. And that's the only day that's blessed. The Lord didn't bless any other day, but He only blessed the seventh day. The seventh day is the only blessed and holy day. Every other day is a regular day, but Saturday, the seventh day, is the special day between us and the Lord. And it's the only holy day that the Lord made. And Adam and Eve, they worked in the Garden of Eden, but when the seventh day comes, they rested from all that work, and they had communion with God. they would rest from all their work, and Jesus would come in the Garden of Eden, and he would talk to them, and they would sit down, and they would probably rest and talk to the Lord and have like communication with the Lord every seventh day. They would do all kinds of things, like they would probably listen to Jesus preach to them, and they probably ate with Jesus, and they probably talked with Jesus. That's what they did on the seventh day. The Lord would come in the garden with them and have communication with them, and he would teach them things. And the Sabbath is always going to be like that, because when we get to heaven, we'll still keep the Sabbath day. The Sabbath will always be kept. It's a special day between us and the Lord, and it will always be a special day between us and the Lord. There's no other day like the Sabbath. The Sabbath is set apart, made holy, and blessed. The Sabbath is the only holy day, and it's the only day that's blessed. And the Sabbath, the fourth commandment, is the only commandment that has the word remember in it. All the other commandments say like thou, and the only commandment that has the word remember is the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That is a very important day. It's a special day between us and the Lord, and it's the seal of God. The Sabbath is the seal of God.